Before I begin this review, I want to give a special thank you to Leonardo Jewelers in Metuchen, New Jersey. They're an outstanding store with many choices of jewelry and watches from Rolex, Tudor, Breitling, Omega, and many more. Visit www.leonardojewelers.com, call, email, or stop in to meet with them to discuss your jewelry needs, and they'll take really good care of you. So please tell them that DougFNJ referred you. Now, on to the review. Hello everybody, and thanks for checking out my review. Today I'll be reviewing a watch I've been waiting over 25 years for. Now, I'd been excited about the Rolex Explorer 2. It was my very first Rolex, but I'm really excited to be going over the new 2020 41mm Rolex Submariner Date 126610LN with the upgraded 3235 movement. Now for the unboxing. Alright, so to get into the unboxing, what we have, of course, is a white, or rather cream-colored box with the large logo etched in on the top here, and everything else is plain white across the back and sides. And opening up that box, of course, you have the famous green hard box that they put the Rolex in. Also, nothing on the sides and the back, just the crown on the bottom here, but everything else is just green. And opening this up, you have, of course, the watch. I'll get into that in a moment here. And you have a nice little slot on the side here. And, of course, you have a wallet that contains the warranty booklet, along with the warranty card. You have a green tag here showing Rolex from Geneva. And superlative certified on the back here with the seal. Then, of course, you have the white tag with the serial number and the barcode on the front. You have the instruction manual. And of course, you have the watch. So as I said earlier, this is a watch I've been hunting down for over 25 years. When I got my first real job, I was looking for a really nice watch, and I had looked at some Rolex watches, and the Submariner caught my eye instantly. It was exactly what I was looking for. I didn't even know what a dive watch was. I just knew that this was the watch I wanted. Now, being that it was my first real job, I had bills, rent, and car payments. It was out of my budget, and I had also looked at Tag Heuer, which is also more than I could spend. So I ended up with a two-tone ESQ that I wore for a few years. And if you look through my videos of my channel, you'll get a good idea where my collection and taste has moved all over the place over the years. The Submariner is what introduced me to dive watches back then, and this has always been the prize I wanted to crown my collection with. I'm so happy to go over the black 41mm Submariner Date. Rolex is one of the only watch manufacturers I've heard who hasn't protected themselves with the term water resistance. This is typically a term manufacturers use to protect themselves for liability. Rolex advertises waterproof. In the Submariner's case, it's 300-meter waterproof. The Submariner has evolved in many ways over the last 25 years since it first caught my interest, and yet it looks mostly the same. Most would look at a 25-year-old Submariner and see only minor differences, but there are large evolutions since then. They've upgraded the bezel insert from aluminum to Cerachrome. The end links were hollow, now they're solid. The clasp has been updated to the adjustable ratchet and Glidelock. The crystal has been upgraded to Sapphire with anti-reflective coating on the inside. They increased the size from 40 to 41 millimeters, and they've also increased the width of the bracelet by a millimeter. They used to rate the accuracy to COSC guidelines of +2 to -4 seconds per day. Now they rate accuracy to plus or minus 2 seconds per day. The movement now has a power reserve of 70 hours. You'll often hear the Submariner described as iconic. It sounds cliche, but it is accurate. This is the watch that comes to mind for many watch enthusiasts when discussing a dive watch. The style and design is innovated by Rolex, but the Submariner will always be the original. The quality differences in so many cases are obvious when you're able to directly compare. Rolex makes their own steel and precious metals. They call their steel Oyster steel using 904L, which is highly resistant to corrosion. The case is polished on the side and brushed on the front, and the back case is unmarked. The rotating unidirectional bezel features 120 clicks, and it almost feels like a combination lock when you're turning it. It is a very smooth, satisfying action. The Cerachrome insert is stronger than the ceramic you see on many others, and the numbers and markers are coated in platinum. One thing I've always loved about ceramic is it could look ink black in one angle of light, and slight move to another angle could make it look like liquid mercury. The waterproof maintains its integrity as long as you close the trip-lock winding crown. The crystal features scratch-resistant sapphire with AR coating on the inside, and one of the things I love about the Date models of the Rolex is the Cyclops sapphire magnifying lens over the Date. To try to combat knockoffs, Rolex laser etches a crown logo at the bottom of the glass that can only be seen in certain angles and certain lighting conditions. The rehaut, or the inner ring of the bezel, etches the Rolex name along the top 3/4 and the serial number on the bottom. You'll notice each letter matches to the marker along the dial. The dial is a beautiful inky black finish with white writing. The markers around the dial are filled with long-lasting chromalite lume and surrounded by white gold along with white gold hands. This is how the lume looks in the dark. If you look at the color changes of the aged hands on early Submariner watches, you'll see why Rolex chose gold materials for the dials, which prevent those color changes on modern Rolex watches. The Oyster Bracelet offers 3-piece links. It is 21mm at the lugs and tapers down to a few millimeters for comfort. This increase of width balances the watch out nicely and wears very comfortable on the wrist. Rolex offers a folding safety clasp with Glidelock ratcheting extension to adjust longer and short up to 20mm in 2mm increments. This is great for when your wrist swells during the day or when it gets cold out and the watch feels looser. Glidelock makes it easy to adjust on the fly, and here's how it works. You pull the links up on the clasp. This releases the catch, which allows you to move the bracelet in and out to adjust for the perfect size. Push the link back down and it locks into place. The 3235 movement was developed and put to market in 2017. You can find this movement on the Sea Dweller, Deep Sea, as well as the newer Datejust and Yachtmasters. It's anti-magnetic, shock-resistant, features 31 joules, 28,800 beats per minute, and offers 70-hour power reserve. There are 201 parts to this movement, all assembled by hand, and with no see-through casebacks, Rolex has found no need to decorate their movements. Takes about a year to make a Rolex, from shaping the case to testing for accuracy and water pressure at the end of the manufacturing process. Every part of the process is handled in-house. Every part of a Rolex watch goes through high-quality control all along the manufacturing process. The company is all about quality and being the best at what they do. These watches are high-priced, and there's a reason for that. In the forums I belong to that discuss Rolex, you rarely hear complaints about the pricing versus what they get. Hey, now here's a wrist shot. Of course, I have 7.5-inch wrists, and to me it fits perfectly. And the taper over here actually works really nicely to give a lot of flexibility on the wrist here. And because of that Glidelock, I'm able to adjust it during the day if I need to. So it adjusts for if you have wrist swelling or if it's really cold out. Very comfortable watch. Perfect for everyday wear. So that's my review of the Rolex Submariner Date. I've been 100% satisfied with this watch. Every detail and finish of this watch is outstanding. The accuracy has been minus 1 second per day as advertised within the specs. And I have to tell you, it's everything I was hoping for it to be when I purchased this Rolex. The wait was totally worth it. So if you like this review, please click the thumbs up. If you really like it, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications on future reviews. You can also find me on Twitter at DougFNJ, and for great discussion, you can go to watchyouseek.com. Check me out over at the Rolex forum and many different brands and different types of watches. Go check it out. It's a great community. I was very lucky to have been able to purchase this watch at retail from an authorized dealer. I had no intention of purchasing any other way. So if you live in or around New Jersey, please stop by Leonardo Jewelers in Metuchen, New Jersey. The service I got was outstanding. They really took good care of me. And by their reviews, that's not an exception. It's more of a practice. Now, I really appreciated and enjoyed the experience and purchase. I want to thank the entire staff over there. They made me feel great. So guys, I want to thank you very much for letting me go over this with you. Be safe. Thanks again, and have a great day.